Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 1 in this series. Just a quick introduction. In this series we shall be going through the manual of the Zoom B24 bass multi-effects pedal. I'm going to be breaking it up into small chunks, looking at a specific part of the manual each time. All videos aim to be around 2 minutes long, covering everything from patches, banks, editing and saving patches, the looper and drum machine. If you have any questions or comments, I'll do my very best to help you if I can. The Zoom B24 is a bass guitar multi-effects pedal. You can have up to 5 effects in a chain for each patch. You can save up to 300 user patches. You have a 80-second looper, depending on which looper you're using. You get a drum machine. You get a DI model output selection. You get effects from these different categories. You get dynamics, filter, drive, modulation, delay, reverb, special effects, pedal and amp. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 2 in this series. How to power and switch the unit on and off. The Zoom B24 is powered by the provided Zoom AD16 AC adapter. Ensure that the adapter is plugged in and switched on. Minimize the volume of the amp or monitors depending on what you're connected to. On the rear panel, just behind here, there is a switch to power the unit on. Press it in. The unit will power up. The B24 opens on the memory screen. By default, eco mode is switched on, so if you're not using the unit, after a certain amount of time it will switch itself off. And then you use the same switch on the back to turn the unit off again. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 3 in this series. Controls overview. The direction buttons in the top left can be used to select patch memories and effects. The display shows patch information as well as effect and parameter information. It also displays the various menus and settings. Underneath the display you get the parameter knobs used to adjust effect parameters as well as other various settings. Additionally, with the Zoom B24 you get the DI model foot switch located in the top right, allowing you to change between a tube or solid state sound. You can also have this switched off. In the bottom right you get the all bypass foot switch, allowing you to bypass effects and the DI output depending on your selection. Also on the bottom you get foot switches 1, 2 and 3, which you can use to select patches and turn effects on and off. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 4 in this series. Rear and side panel. On the rear panel you get the input jack to connect your bass guitar. You get an impedance selector depending on the type of bass you're using. There's a balanced output jack to connect to a mixer or similar. You get a ground connect lift switch for the balanced output. You get an auxiliary in jack to connect a music player or similar device. You get an output jacks which you can connect to a guitar amp or powered monitors. Use the left for mono or left and right for stereo. You get the power on and off switch, the AC adapter connector. The B24 also has a control in for a Zoom FP02M expression pedal. On the side panel located down here you get a USB Type-C port which allows you to connect the B24 to a smartphone, tablet or computer. You can download the Handy Guitar Lab for B24 from the App Store or Google Play. This allows you to edit and add effects and manage patch memories. Additionally, on the side panel there is a headphone output jack, ideal for silent practice. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 5 in this series. Memory and effect screens and changing between the two. In memory mode, which mode we're in now, the display will show the current patch number being used along the top. In numbers, you'll have a white number and a black background for the one that's in use. Under this, the display will show the name of the patch. To change to effect screen for this patch, press the memory effect foot switch located up here. In effect mode, the display will show the effects in the chain for the selected patch. The display can show up to 3 effects at a time. The black dots show which effects are currently being shown, the black dots down the bottom. Use the left and right buttons to navigate along the chain. Displayed bottom left is also the patch number and the name, so number 300 and how to. To change back to memory mode, press the memory effect foot switch located here. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 6 in this series. How to change an effect in the chain. Make sure you're in effect mode, which is this mode here. Select the effect to change using the left and right buttons. Once you've selected an effect to change, press the up or down button to enter the library. Continue to press up or down to select an effect from the same category. Once you've found an effect you want to change to, press the memory effect foot switch to confirm selection and return to the effect screen. In the library, effects in the same category are lined up vertically. So these are the drive effects. To select a different category of effects, use the left and right buttons. Once you're in your chosen category, use the up and down to select an effect. When you've chosen your effect to change to, press the memory effect foot switch to confirm your selection and return to the effect screen. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 7 in this series. How to access and navigate the menu. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch, located up here. This brings up the menu. The display can show 3 different menu categories at a time. Use the left and right buttons to show other menu options. Press the corresponding foot switch to enter the desired menu option. So if you want to set the Preselect option, press down foot switch number 3. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 8 in this series. How to adjust the overall EQ and master output volume. To adjust the overall EQ of the Zoom B24, make sure you're first in memory mode, which is this mode here. Use knobs 1, 2 and 3 under the display. They correspond to the low, mid and high EQ settings. Turn any of the knobs to start adjusting the overall EQ. Just like so. After finishing any adjustments, the screen will return to the previous screen after a moment. Again, to adjust the master level of the Zoom B24, make sure you're in memory mode, which is this mode here, and then turn knob number 4 under the display to start adjusting the master output level. You can increase this up to 120. Once you've finished making adjustments, the screen will return to the previous screen. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 9 in this series. How to change patches and banks. In memory mode, which is this mode here, you can change between patches a number of ways. The easiest way to change between patches that are displayed in the current bank is by using the foot switches. Each foot switch corresponds to the patch in the order shown on the display. So foot switch 1 is for patch number 300. Foot switch number 2 would be for patch number 1. Foot switch number 3 for patch number 2. Alternatively, you can change patches using the up, down, left and right buttons. Using the left and right buttons, you can move through the patches continuously in the order they're shown. So just go up one at a time, or down one at a time. If you press the up button, you will jump to a patch that is 10 patches away. So you jump to number 11, 21, 31. If you press the down button, you will jump to a patch that is 10 patches lower. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 10 in this series. How to activate and use the Preselect function. The Preselect function allows you to change to a patch that is not near the current patch. This is ideal for a live situation because it saves you from having to cycle through the sounds of the patches between the one you're currently on and the one you need to use. To turn the Preselect function on, press and hold the menu foot switch located up here. Then use left and right to find Preselect on the screen. You see it's on foot switch number 3. Press on foot switch number 3 to open that part of the menu. Use the left and right buttons to select on, and then press the memory effect foot switch again to confirm selection. Once the Preselect function has been turned on, in memory mode, which is this mode here, use the buttons up, down, left and right to select the next patch that you want to use. Once you start moving, this foot switch will start flashing because you'll still be using patch number 1, but you'll be able to cycle through. So say you want to jump to patch number 52, you press the corresponding foot switch to the screen, so foot switch number 2 for patch 52. As soon as you press it, that is the sound you'll be using from now on. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 11 in this series. How to turn effect on and off in effects mode. On the patch you want to use on the effects screen, press the memory effect foot switch to go into effects mode. Shown on the display are up to 3 effects within the chain. Use left and right to show the desired effects in the chain. The foot switches on the bottom corresponds to the effects shown on the chain. So if we move along, so number 1 is on there, but if we go back, we get 1 and 2. To turn an effect on and off, press the corresponding foot switch. So if you want to turn the drive pedal off, press foot switch number 1. The LED will have gone out. Press it again to switch that effect back on. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 12 in this series. How to add and delete an effect. In the effects screen, which is this screen here, if a number is displayed within the chain, it means it currently has no effect assigned. So move along to number 3, that currently has no effect assigned. To add an effect, simply press up or down to open the library of effects. Use the directional buttons to navigate the library. If you use up and down, it navigates effects in the same category. And then left and right changes the effect category. Once an effect has been selected, press the memory effect foot switch to add that effect to the chain. In the effects screen, select the effect to be deleted using the left and right buttons. Press the up or down button to enter the library. Use the directional buttons to navigate to a number. Up and down navigates effects in the same category. Left and right changes the effect category. You want to go all the way to the left until you've selected the number. In this case it's number 2. Once that has been selected, press the memory effect foot switch to delete that effect from the chain. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 13 in this series. Process overflow warning, what to do. The B24 can combine up to 5 effects in a single chain. However, if the processing power of the unit is exceeded, a process overflow warning will appear and effects will be bypassed. To rectify this, you will need to either change some of the effects to ones that use less of the processing power, or to delete the effects entirely from the chain. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 14 in this series. How to adjust effect parameters. Individual effects used in patches can be adjusted. Make sure that you're on the effect screen for the patch you want to edit. This is the effect screen here. Use the left and right buttons to select the effect to edit. Turn one of the knobs under the display to start adjusting the parameters. Each knob corresponds to the parameter directly above on the display. So for this you've got gain, bass, treble and volume. After adjustments are finished, the previous screen will reopen after a moment. Amps and some effects have multiple pages of parameters. An arrow will show on the left or right of the parameters once you start editing to tell if there are more parameters. So go to this amp, we'll start editing, and you see on the right here there's an arrow. If you see an arrow, press the right or left buttons to change pages, and then you can adjust parameters on both sides of the screen. After adjustments are finished, the previous screen will reopen after a moment. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 15 in this series. How to change the effect order. Open the effect screen on the patch you would like to reorder using the memory effect foot switch. Use the left and right buttons to select an effect to move. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to enter the menu. And then use the left and right buttons to display move on the screen. So it's corresponding to foot switch number 1, so press down on foot switch 1. Now you have the option to move this effect. Use the left and right buttons to decide on where you'd like to place it. When you've chosen the new location, press the down button to execute. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 16 in this series. How to adjust the tempo and tap tempo input. The tempo that is used by the drum machine, looper, delay and some modulation effects can be adjusted separately for each patch. Open the effect screen for the patch you wish to adjust the tempo by pressing the memory effect foot switch. Use the left and right buttons to display the BPM module, which is on the end. Use knob number 1 to adjust the BPM. It can be set anywhere between 40 and 250 beats per minute. Once you've finished adjusting, the screen will go back to its previous state. Alternatively, you can use the tap tempo feature to input the desired BPM. To do this, tap the corresponding foot switch twice or more to input a tempo. It's on foot switch number 3, so press it twice or more to input a tap tempo. It doesn't come up on the screen as to what the tempo is, so you can check it using the knob number 1 and make fine adjustments if you need to. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 17 in this series. How to change the name of a patch. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch on the patch you wish to change the name of. Use the left and right buttons to display patch name on the screen. Patch name that's showing there on foot switch number 2. So press the foot switch number 2 to enter the patch name menu. Use left and right to move the cursor. Use up and down to edit the character where the cursor is. Press and hold up or down to move continuously through the characters, like so. You get a choice of upper and lower case as well as symbols and numbers. Press foot switch number 3 to delete the character before the cursor. Press and hold foot switch number 3 to delete all characters. When editing is finished, press the memory effect foot switch to confirm and reopen the memory screen. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 18 in this series. How to save and copy a patch. To copy a patch to another location, press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to display copy on the screen. Press the corresponding foot switch, in this case it's number 2. This opens the copy screen. Use the up and down buttons to select the patch you want to copy. Press down the memory effect foot switch to select it. Then use the up and down buttons to select your location, and then press the memory effect foot switch to execute. If you want to cancel, use the left and right buttons to select enter or cancel. We'll go ahead and execute. And it will have copied patch number 300 to patch number 299 in this case. If the autosave function is off, save will be shown instead of copy. Autosave is on by default, so if you press and hold the memory effect foot switch, save now appears instead of copy. So if you press on foot switch number 3, you're automatically saving the patch that you're currently on. You can't select another patch, but you can select a different location and then press the memory effect foot switch to execute. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 19 in this series. How to delete a patch. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to display patch erase. Press the corresponding foot switch, in this case it's foot switch number 2. Use the up and down buttons to select the patch to be deleted. Use the left button to select enter. If you want to cancel anything you want to delete, to leave it on cancel. Press the memory effect foot switch to execute, and that patch will be deleted. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 20 in this series. How to create a new patch. To create a new patch, press and hold foot switch number 1. This opens the new screen. Use up and down to select the destination for the new empty patch. And then press enter using the memory effect foot switch. If you want to cancel this, select cancel instead. We'll go ahead and press enter. Once you've done this, it will automatically open the effects screen so you can start editing your new patch. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 21 in this series. How to revert a patch to previous or factory default settings. To revert a patch back to the state it was in immediately after it was selected, press and hold foot switch number 2. Use the left and right buttons to select previous, and then press the memory effect foot switch to revert to its previous state. Alternatively, you can revert a single patch back to its factory default settings. Press and hold foot switch number 2. Use the left and right buttons to select factory, and then press the memory effect foot switch to execute. And this will bring that patch back to its factory default settings. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 22 in this series. How to open and use the tuner. Press and hold foot switch number 3 to open the tuner. This opens up the tuner. Play the open string you want to tune. The nearest note will be displayed on the screen. Once you're finished, press foot switch 1, 2 or 3 to close and return to the previous screen. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 23 in this series. How to set the standard pitch of the tuner. Press and hold foot switch number 3 to open the tuner. From there you can use knob number 1 to adjust the standard pitch of the tuner. It can be set anywhere from 430 Hz to 450 Hz. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 24 in this series. How to set the tuner type. Press and hold foot switch number 3 to open the tuner. And then you can use knob number 2 to select the tuner type. It can be set between chromatic, which shows the nearest note on the tuner, or bass, which shows a number representing the string being tuned. If you have selected bass tuning, the numbers shown on the tuner are represented as follows. LB would be for the low B string, 4 for the E string, 3 for the A string, 2 for the D string, 1 for the G string, and HC for the high C string. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 25 in this series. How to use flat tunings. Press and hold foot switch number 3 to open the tuner. You have to make sure that your tuner type is set to bass rather than chromatic. And then using knob number 3, you can set how many semitones flat you would like to tune your bass guitar to. So you can go from no semitones, that will just be normal, 1 semitone flat, 2 semitones flat, or 3 semitones flat. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 26 in this series. How to set pedal effects. Open the effects screen for the patch you wish to edit. Select an empty slot, or you can edit over one of your current slots. Press up or down to enter the library. Scroll across to the end using the right switch to get to the pedal effects. Select a pedal effect that you want to use. Press the memory effect foot switch to add that to the chain. You will need an expression pedal which you can put into the control in on the back panel. When you start editing the parameters, the one that has the P will be the effects that the expression pedal will affect. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 27 in this series. How to select the DI model. The Zoom B24 has a dedicated foot switch for changing the DI model, located in the top right here. You can select between a vacuum tube and solid state DIs. The DI model affects the balanced output, and the headphone jack. Press the DI model foot switch to change. Tube number 1. This models the characteristics of a vacuum tube DI with rich harmonics and a thick low frequencies. Tube number 2 is a vacuum tube DI with a clear attack and tight low frequencies. Tube number 3 is a vacuum tube DI with a clear beautiful sound. Number 4 is a solid state DI with moderate compression and a sharp tone. Number 5 is a solid state DI with a clear tone and little distortion. Number 6 is a solid state DI with evocative of the Motown sound, and you can also turn this off. Welcome to How to Music Tech. This is part 28 in this series. How to use the rhythm patterns. You need to add the rhythm effect to your chain to use the drum machine. To do this, you need to open the library on the effect block where the rhythm effect will go. So select where you want it, press up or down to enter the library. Then use the right button to scroll all the way along to the second to last category. And then press up until you find the rhythm. There you go. And then press the memory effect button to add this to the chain. Once you have added the rhythm effect to your chain, the corresponding foot switch is used to start and stop playback of the drum machine. So at the moment it would be on foot switch number 2. So if you press the foot switch to start playback, you'll see the 4 bars come up on the effect, and then press it again to stop playback. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 29 in this series. How to change the rhythm pattern. Make sure the rhythm block is selected using the left and right buttons, and then turn knob number 1 to select a new pattern. There are 68 to choose from, most of which are in 4/4, but there are additional ones in 12/8, 3/4 and 5/4. These patterns are from number 58 onwards. You get various different genres including rock, punk, funk, disco, hip hop, ska and country. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 30 in this series. How to set the rhythm tempo, volume and pre-count. Make sure the rhythm block is selected using the left and right buttons, and then use knob number 3 to set the rhythm tempo. It can be set anywhere from 40 beats per minute all the way up to 250 beats per minute. The tempo that is set here is also shared by the other effects and looper. Again, make sure the rhythm block is selected using the left and right buttons, and then you can use knob number 4 to set the rhythm volume. You can set this anywhere between 0 to 100. Additionally, make sure you have the rhythm block selected, and then you can use knob number 2 to set a pre-count for use with the looper. This can be set to either on or off. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 31 in this series. How to add a looper to the chain. In the effect screen, make sure you select a block for the looper effect using the left and right buttons. Press up or down to enter the library, and then use the right button to scroll all the way to the second to last category. And then go up. And from there you can select either the mono looper or the stereo looper, and then press the memory effect button to add the looper to the block. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 32 in this series. How to use the looper. Once you've added a looper to your chain, press the corresponding foot switch once to start the loop recording, and then press the foot switch again to stop recording and immediately start playback. To stop the playback, press the foot switch twice. To restart the playback, press the foot switch again. To clear a loop, you need to stop playback by double tapping it again. And then once it's stopped, press and hold the foot switch to clear it. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 33 in this series. How to overdub on the looper. With a loop recorded and during playback, press the foot switch corresponding to the looper to start overdubbing. Once you've finished overdubbing, press the foot switch again to stop. Playback will continue. You can do this again multiple times to add more layers, just like so. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 34 in this series. How to set the loop recording time. Use knob number 1 of the looper to set the recording time. It can be set from manual, which means you manually use the foot switch to start and stop recording, or the value can be set between 1 and 64 quarter notes, just like so. Once loop recording starts, it will automatically stop recording and start playback when the time has been reached. The loop recording time has been set to 16 quarter notes, so if we press the foot switch to start recording, it will record up to 16 quarter notes and it will automatically start playback. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 35 in this series. How to set looper volume and stop mode. On the looper effects screen, make sure you have it selected. Use knob number 4 to set the loop volume. It can be set anywhere between 0 and 100. To set how the loop stops, use knob number 3 of the looper. To set the stop mode, you can select between instant, which means it stops immediately after the stop button is pressed. You can choose finish, so the loop plays to the end, or you can select fade out, so it stops after fading out. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 36 in this series. How to set and use the undo redo looper function. Use knob number 2 of the looper effects screen to set the undo redo function to undo and redo overdubs. It can be set between on and off. If it's on, the mono looper becomes a 40-second looper instead of 80 seconds. If you're using the stereo looper, it becomes a 20-second looper instead of 40 seconds. Once a loop has been recorded with an overdub and the undo redo function has been enabled, press and hold the foot switch for the looper to undo the last overdub. See, undo comes up there. To redo the last overdub, press and hold the looper foot switch to restore the last overdub. See, redo comes up on the screen there. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 37 in this series. How to set the autosave function. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to display autosave. It shows up on foot switch number 3 here, so press the foot switch number 3. Then you can select between on or off. When you're finished, press the memory effect foot switch to execute. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 38 in this series. How to set the eco mode. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to display eco. It's corresponding to foot switch number 2 here, so press foot switch number 2. And then use the left and right buttons to select between either on or off. If you leave it on, the power will automatically turn off if unused for 10 hours. When you've decided on which one you want, press the memory effect foot switch to execute. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 39 in this series. How to use the bypass function. All the B24 effects and the DI model can be bypassed. Bypassing effects only is also possible. To bypass all effects and DI model, press the all bypass foot switch. See, it comes up on screen, everything has been bypassed. To return to normal, press the foot switch again. To bypass just the effects, press and hold the all bypass foot switch. And that will just show that the effects have been bypassed. Again, press the foot switch again to return to normal. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 40 in this series. How to adjust the display contrast. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to scroll across to display LCD. Press the corresponding foot switch, in this case it's number 3. And then use the up and down buttons to select your preferred settings. Once you've finished, press the memory effect foot switch to confirm. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 41 in this series. How to check the current firmware. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to scroll across to version. Press the corresponding foot switch, in this case it's number 3, and it will display the current system, preset and boot versions. To exit, press the memory effect foot switch. Welcome to How To Music Tech. This is part 42 in this series. How to restore to factory default settings. Press and hold the memory effect foot switch to open the menu. Use the left and right buttons to scroll across to all init. It's corresponding to foot switch number 2, so press down on that. If you want to initialize all, you need to select yes, using the left and right buttons. When you've got the selection you want, press down on the memory effect foot switch to execute. You'll get a processing message. This deletes all settings and patch memories. It will put everything back to the factory default settings. If you wanted to cancel, on the previous bit you'd have selected no and pressed the memory effect foot switch. You get a complete message when it's all done, and it's all back to factory default settings now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, make sure you give it a like and be sure to subscribe for more videos on this unit and others to come.